Thanks for joining us for another edition of Issues and Answers. I'm Ian Boyne. Today we talk about the National Youth Service. There are many opportunities that National Youth Service offers. And today we have with us the chair of the NYS, Maureen Weber, as well as the executive director, Mr. Melvin Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, good to have you on Issues and Answers. I want to start with you first, Mr. Smith. If you could tell us what are the main programs of the National Youth Service?
Thank you. National Youth Service is about empowering youth, and in that regard we have a number of programs, among them the Graduate Work Experience Program, GWEP. We have a volunteerism program, we have an entrepreneurship program, we have empowerment enrichment camps, and we also have a transform program, to name a few.
Yeah, and a summer employment program.
Of course,
a lot of people know.
How could I? I mean, most people know us
about the summer employment program. Yeah.
No,
It's
absolutely.
a lifeline
No, absolutely.
to many. Chair, tell us about this Graduate Work Experience program. That was recently, officially launched, but I think you got a pilot last
We actually
year.
started last year with a batch of 50 young persons, and the concept really is you leave university and you apply for a job and the person says, oh, no work experience. And then you don't get it if you don't get work experience.
Are you just at home for a long time and can't get a job?
Waiting. So the response was really for persons who are in that position, let us give them an opportunity to work. And then at the same time, give the potential employer a chance to see, guess what, I might be young, just leave university, but actually I have skills that I can add value to your organization. And so we go through a process of people apply, and we look at, then we invite private sector companies primarily, and the reason is a couple of things. One is that we want them to actually stick. We want you to take the young person and have an opportunity or a space to employ him or her after the 6-month period. And that's really what we spend a little time with the young person, helping them to get ready for the workspace. So when you leave university...
Sorry, is there an emphasis on placing these young people in small,
Yes, actually, we do
medium?
small and medium, and it's sort of like logical, because small and medium firms, first of all, they are the engine of growth in our economy.
Of course, true.
Several of them will struggle with, I can't employ a new staff person because I don't have the budget. But you bring somebody and he or she's adding the kind of value, you'll begin to increase your revenue. So the 6 months comes to an end, you say, I can't let go of this person. So you have opened the door for
And
a young
NYS
person.
pays the person.
They pay, but as I said, 30% or so of the host companies are already making a contribution of at least 50-60% in addition to what we are giving them.
Excellent.
So that's really kind of, it shows a commitment in the long run to the process.
So this is an excellent opportunity for graduates who are either at home, at home for a long time after graduation, or who are rebuffed with the fact that they have no work experience. Yeah. You yourself are a former volunteer, former graduate of the NYS program. How important do you see NYS?
I mean, the
Is it
NYS,
still relevant?
I think, well, obviously we're working to ensure that relevance. When you, for those who are around when it started in 1973, 74, right? It was born out of a need to continue to build a sense of volunteerism and give back, and to give you also a sense of purpose and focus. And can I tell my story?
Do.
I was actually in the first batch of NYS.
You were in the first batch?
Yes, now it's all over the world what my age is now.
Oh.
But I was successful in one thing in high school, and I was failing my A-levels. And my father was the most annoyed that I squandered 2 years on his money and dropped me to school. And he felt I needed to reorient and reset myself. And so he signed me up for NYS and set me off the Hanover Street where I worked for years as a volunteer. And that for me was a critical part of telling me what I needed to do with my life, and it was to add value, to give back. So I think that if it is done right and it's done well, it creates that sense of belonging to our country, of doing and of giving back. And what the NYS is about is ensuring right now that any young person who comes even close to our door, he or she leads with one thing: I am to give back, and I'm valuable. I add value. That's the way we want to do.
Mr. Smith, tell us about the entrepreneurship program. How does that work?
Okay. It was born out of a recognition that the jobs were not always there for the graduates to proceed to. And with high unemployment amongst youth, higher than any other group, we felt that we had to orient our participants towards self-employment and developing businesses.
Yes.
With that background, we therefore decided to run a pilot last year of about 80 persons who indicated an interest in starting their own business. We put them through a training period. We outlined to them principles of business, and we gave them the opportunity to do some exploration and then to write a business plan.
So do you help them with financing or
We've
direct them?
Well, actually, I've actually identified a line of credit.
Identify line
For
of
that,
credit?
yes. And it's not credit we're looking for so much, it's financing. I'm trying to use the correct word.
Yes.
Because if you're a young person starting your enterprise and you won't get a loan, which asks you to pay back 1% per week starting week 1, it's likely not going to help you anyway.
Yes.
So we have a line of credit, a line for financing that enterprise. It could be a mix of low-cost loans, it could be a mix of equity, different types of things.
So the NYS itself?
We won't handle money. We have a window we identify, but not within our organization.
Okay.
And associated with that also is that going forward, we're looking at perhaps doing a program like Dragon's Den, where they could compete, with ideas would compete to a panel, and the better ideas would get funding for their implementation. So we're looking at enhancing the entrepreneurship program in that way going forward.
Exciting things taking place at the National Youth Service. Perhaps you might want to be a part of one of these programs. We have two of the key leaders at the NYS here. When we come back, they will tell us more.
I needed help to expand my business, but the banks only wanted to be up in my business. The high interest rates were killing my business, and they never really business with my business.
At the Exim Bank, we have your business needs covered. Our application process is easy, and we provide loans at competitive rates for the productive sector. From renewable energy projects and working capital to plant upgrades or expansion and export financing. Come in and talk to us today. The Exim Bank. On the road to success, you are going to want us in your business.
How the National Youth Service can benefit you. This interview will give you some clues. We have the chairperson, Maureen Weber, as well as the executive director, Mr. Melvin Smith. Back to you, Chair.
Maureen,
Yeah, yeah, true. We have known each other long enough to dispense with the formalities. The budget for the NYS, would you say that this indicates that the government is really placing emphasis on?
Certainly, and I said that our minister was very supportive of our ideas that we put forward last year, and went to bat. We actually were fully funded.
Fully funded?
Right.
You got what you wanted?
What we wanted, yeah.
Unusual public sector.
Yeah, but one of our challenges is that you see, we spend carefully. And by the time we got up to speed and tested some of our products, we hadn't spent it all just yet, but we're almost there. But we're fully funded, and we had the minister's support all through the year.
How many persons, Mr. Smith, would have passed through the NYS programs in the last couple of years, say?
Between the years 2011, 12, and 13, cumulatively we had about 16,000 to pass through.
16,000?
And the last year, 2013, it was over 6,000 of that number.
You also have camps, don't you?
We had camps in the past, but we are not running those kinds of camps anymore. But we have piloted a number of camps in the last year.
Yeah, one of the things we had Edie mentioned an empowerment camp, but I think it is an indication of one of the directions of the NYS. That camp was actually for young persons with disabilities, and the empowerment, of course, consistent with the issue of disability. And it was because we had difficulties placing them in some employment opportunities, and we have a quota system at NYS now.
You have a quota system now?
Yes, 10% minimum was our young person with disabilities.
That's excellent.
And so therefore we didn't have them work sites for them. So we ran a 2-week empowerment camp to work through their issues, to have them development skills, those kinds of things as well. So we are really, really focusing on trying to give opportunities for young persons with disabilities.
Yeah. Tell us some of the primary things you want to achieve as chair of the NYS.
Because
what impact you want to make?
They may all resign. Listen, I want my daughter to think of herself as an NYS volunteer.
Yes.
I don't want it to be NYS for people who can't find anything to do, but for people who are busy themselves. I felt so excited when she said to me, a group of her friends from Edna Mali, we would like to go to Best Care and volunteer and teach art on a Saturday. I want young persons to feel like giving back is a part of their DNA, a part of their fabric. We won't necessarily do all the volunteer programs, I want people to feel, whoa, I didn't volunteer, I didn't give back, I missed something.
So this is important, Maureen. The NY should not just be seen as a place where one gets opportunities, but as a place where one gives back.
Because it is
So uptown people.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh.
National Youth Service is 2 levels of service.
Yes.
Youth in service and service for youth. So we want to get to both things. We have been doing this service for youth, and we always see young persons as they have a problem to fix.
Yes.
They are part of our solution, and therefore we need to engage them and involve them in the giving back, and they will see themselves as serving. Right now we always say, well, what do they need? What do we need to give them?
Important.
Now we want to say, well, what can you give?
Yes.
And give them the ways and the vehicles for that give back.
So through the National Youth Service, one can
Right.
serve in a variety
Yes,
of
actually we
institutions.
start like volunteer corps in the new financial year, and so a group of persons that you
Good.
volunteer corps. You may need some support or some basic tools, like let's use the example of the Edelman students want to do art at a children's home. They may need the supplies like art supplies, those kinds of things. So we will provide that, but you still come with your creative and your energies. It could be to refurbish something. So you pick your project, you plan your project, you develop your project, and we give you a grant to roll out your project. So you're the volunteer, and so we have to come with a way that they own the volunteering. It's not like we say you go and do this, but you're selecting the things you want to do.
And is there a place in this volunteerism for people like me who might want to do some coaching, who might
Yes,
want to
definitely.
mentor some youth?
Definitely.
Absolutely. And I just want to add to what Chair said, that this rebirth, if you will, of the volunteerism core started during Youth Month last year in November, when we, as we are celebrating our 40th anniversary, we had 40 projects, 40 for 40, across the entire island, engaging up to 1,000 youth. And out of that experience and the excitement that generated,
So what do
we
we do
decided
then? We'll finish. What do
to
So they
create.
did something. What do you do next? And so we said, aha, let's just use it this way. We'll let them drive the volunteer activities.
Excellent. Continue doing what you're doing. You're certainly making an impact, and certainly those persons who have graduated from high school have not been able to find anything. Those who have graduated from university have not been able to find anything. The NYS is for you. And those who have graduated and who have found something and who want to give back to the society, the National Youth Service is a vehicle for doing that. We thank you for your company on Issues and Answers. Until next week, Ian Boyne wishing you a pleasant day.